It took me years to be able to talk about this. And even now, there are still nights when I wake up in the middle of the night with the feeling that someone is watching me in the dark. That night, I made a mistake that seems small, but it was enough to almost cost me my life. I should have noticed the silence. I should have understood that laughter, that low sound that made no sense at all in that place. But I kept walking. And when I finally looked back, I didn't just see someone following me. I saw something that seemed to have been waiting for me for a long time. And the worst part is that, even after everything, I still have the feeling that it didn't end that night. It was supposed to be just another ordinary night at work. The kind that ends later than planned and leaves your body tired and your mind on autopilot. I left close to 10, holding my bag against my body while the rain fell lightly, steadily. The kind that doesn't make enough noise to bother you, but slowly soaks everything in that silent early morning. The street where I worked had always been busy. Even late, there were still people passing by, cars, lights on, the sound of conversations coming from bars. But that night, it was different, empty, too quiet. If I had understood that silence at that moment, I would have never continued down that path alone on that strangely quiet street. I stopped for a second still under the awning, observing. No cars passing, no open windows, no voices. Just the sound of rain hitting the asphalt and running through the drains on that cold night. I took a deep breath and started walking. I lived about 2 or 3 kilometers from there and already knew that dark path well. I knew that place well because I had taken that route countless times. I knew exactly where the streetlights didn't work properly, the darker stretches, the shortcuts. And maybe it was exactly that confidence that made me ignore what was beginning to happen at that strange moment. In the first few meters, everything seemed normal. The sound of my footsteps mixed with the rain, and I was only thinking about getting home, taking a hot shower, and forgetting the day. But then, that feeling came, subtle at first, almost imperceptible. That impression of being watched in the darkness around me. Have you ever felt that? That strange sensation that someone is there, even when there's no one. I slowed down. I looked back, nothing. The street remained completely empty. No movement. No shadow out of place. I let out a soft sigh, trying to laugh it off, but the discomfort didn't go away at that moment. But it didn't work, because when I turned forward again, the feeling came back, stronger, heavier, as if, instead of going away, it had gotten closer. Achi, that moment something inside me began to warn me, but I still didn't know exactly of what. I kept walking, now a little faster, watching everything around me. My eyes started moving more, analyzing the parked cars, the sidewalks, the entrances to houses. Everything seemed too still, too artificial. And that's when it happened. A sound, low, almost swallowed by the rain, a laugh. I froze. It wasn't a loud laugh. It wasn't outrageous. It was low, restrained. Far too strange. My heart raced instantly. I turned slowly, afraid to confirm what my mind was already starting to imagine. But only this chimney different. Because right after the laughter came another sound. Footsteps behind me. Light, but clearly out of sync with mine on that dark street. As if someone was trying to keep up without being noticed. It was at that moment that a question started to grow inside my head. Anditway, who was there with me on that empty street? I turned quickly, and this time I saw it. Not clearly, not enough to understand, but I saw something moving. Fast, hiding behind a parked car, a shadow, a figure. Something, and that was enough. My body reacted before my mind could process it. I started walking faster, and a few seconds later, I noticed something that made the fear grow even more. The footsteps behind me sped up. The rain felt colder now, heavier, as if each drop increased the weight of the fear growing inside me. I was no longer walking normally. My pace was too fast to be just hurry, and too slow to be a run. It was that desperate middle ground, when you strive yourself that they need to run. But don't you do. If at that moment I had started running earlier, maybe everything would have been different. The footsteps behind me continued, regular, firm, always at the same distance, neither closer nor farther, as if it was following me on purpose that strange night. Playing with time, with fear. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, my breathing starting to fail, becoming short, irregular. My hands were cold, even with my body burning with tension. Even so, I looked back again, and this time, it wasn't just a shadow, I saw more. A hand slowly emerging, coming out slowly from behind a car, the fingers long, pale, motionless for a second, and then something reflected in the weak light of the street lamp. A glint, cold, metallic, a knife. Time seemed to freeze at that moment. My entire body went cold. My mind finally understood what was happening, and the fear turned into panic. That moment there was no more doubt. It wasn't just following me. It wanted to catch me. I started running. Without thinking, without planning, just running. My footsteps echoed through the empty street, mixed with the sound of rain hitting the ground, and right after came the other footsteps, faster, heavier, running after me. Now, there was no more attempt to hide. There was no more silence. It had decided to show itself. I turned my face while running, and that's when I saw him, a clown. But there was nothing funny about him. The white face was stained, dirty, as if the makeup had been on for days in that dark night. The red smile was crooked, exaggerated, almost too torn to be human. And the eyes had no expression at all. They were dark, empty, dead, but at the same time, alive enough to stalk me, to choose me that night. That moment a certainty took over me. I was not the first. The way he ran was wrong. The movements were clumsy, but far too fast, as if the body didn't follow normal rules, as if it wasn't too concerned with looking human. I felt desperation completely take over. My legs began to hurt and my breathing became even heavier. My vision seemed to narrow, focusing only on the path ahead. That's when I turned onto the street that led to my house. And the fear got worse, because that street was different, narrower, surrounded by vegetation on both sides. Tall, dense trees, with branches intertwining, blocking almost all the light in that suffocating darkness. The few streetlights that existed failed, flickered, left entire stretches in darkness. Anyone who has passed through a place like that at night knows. The problem isn't just what you see, it's what you can't see. The sound of the rain there seemed more muffled, almost distant, as if everything around was being slowly swallowed by the dense woods. The wind swayed the branches, creating shadows that moved as if they were alive in that darkness. And in the middle of all that, his footsteps, getting closer, getting faster. I could hear his breathing now, heavy, irregular, excited, and then the laughter this chimney. It wasn't low. It wasn't hidden. It was loud, open, echoing through the street. A laugh that didn't match anything human. A laugh that sounded demonic. It was at that moment that I understood something that froze me inside. It wasn't just chasing me. It was enjoying it, and I was running out of time in that desperate run. The corner of my house finally appeared in front of me. Even with my vision blurred by the rain and desperation, I recognized it. I was close, very close, but not enough. Because it was exactly at that moment that I felt it. A hand grabbing my arm tightly, pulling me back brutally. The impact was so sudden that my body froze for a second. Right after, instinct took over. I screamed, loud, desperate. I tried to pull my arm away, to free myself, but the grip was too strong. His fingers dug into my skin as if they would never let go, while the rain kept falling around us. I turned my face, and he was there, too close. The clown's face was no longer distant, no longer a figure running behind me. It was centimeters away. The smeared makeup running with the rain, the distorted smile, the eyes fixed on me. Completely empty, but attentive enough to follow my every move. Achi, that moment an overwhelming certainty took over me. I wasn't getting out of there. His other hand lifted. The knife. Its gleam cut through the darkness once again, and it came toward me. I reacted on pure instinct. I grabbed his arm with everything I had. I used all the strength desperation could give in that struggle. We started fighting right there, in the middle of the street, in the rain, slipping, stumbling, trying to gain advantage. I screamed nonstop. I screamed for help. I screamed without even knowing if anyone could hear. The blade passed close to my face. So close I felt the wind of the movement cutting the air around my skin. His smell was strong, strange, like something old, damp, kept for a long time. His breathing was heavy, fast, and the laughter, even during the fight, was still there, low, almost a whisper. As if all of that was just part of a cruel game in that dark and silent night. If no one had appeared at that moment, I know exactly how that story would have ended. But then, another voice cut through the sound of the rain, a shout, familiar, my husband. The door of the house burst open, fast footsteps, and before the clown could react, came the impact of a strong punch to his face. His body was thrown to the side, falling onto the wet ground. I managed to free myself, staggering back, still shaking, still unable to believe what was happening. For a second, everything went still. The sound of the rain once again dominated everything around, as if nothing else existed on that dark street. But it didn't last, because he moved, got up too fast, turned his face toward us, and just stared, in silence. For a second that felt too long, and then he ran, disappeared into the darkness of the street, as if he were part of it, as if he had always belonged to that place from the beginning. We went inside immediately, locked doors, windows, everything. My hands wouldn't stop shaking, my voice failed. I could barely explain what had happened, while my husband called the police in that tense early morning but deep dawn. One feeling wouldn't leave my mind. It wasn't over yet. The following hours were a blur. Sirens, red lights reflecting on the walls. Questions, repetitions in attempts to explain something that I myself couldn't fully understand. But then, the news came. The police found Hobai still in the area. And when we went to the station, came the most disturbing part. He wasn't just any stranger. He wasn't just a man in costume. He was a serial killer, a man who had done that before. More than once with other night streets. And the worst part, he had already been arrested, but was released after the justice system considered him rehabilitated. That street. I saw the truth with my own eyes. Some people don't change. They just learn to wait for the right moment. And to this day, when the rain falls too lightly, when the street gets too quiet, I feel that same sensation. as if someone is watching me in the dark. And sometimes, deep in the night, when everything is too quiet, I still hear that laughter, low, distant, as if it's just waiting for the right moment to return. Good night.